Okay, let's do a setup guide for our PCS3, which is the PS3 emulator by the name. So first you just look it up on Google. Pretty simple stuff, as you do. So you're greeted with, I guess, their opening page. I don't even know how you get back to this, to be honest. You can download here, or you can just go to this download tab, which I'd recommend. And then just go for this. This is the most recent version. So you download it. And then you're going to want to go to Quick Start, so you want to get this as well to go with it. This will tell you all the stuff that you need, or you don't need, but like these are the minimum system requirements. So this is a very hard to run emulator, so I wouldn't do it with anything, you know, less than, or I wouldn't even do it with this. Like, to be honest, you're not going to get good performance, but if you have a decent system, then you could probably play some games. Some games are just really hard to run. If you don't have C++, you can get it here, or DirectX runtime. You should have those things if you play any game on your computer at all. But if you need it, they have it here. I mean, you can get it from any other thing. It's linked everywhere. What you do need, though, for this, for sure, is this. So click this link, it'll open up, this is the PS3 software update, so you want to get this. I already got it, and I will show you how to use it, but you definitely want to get this. So just click that, and it'll download this. It'll download as a .pup file, PlayStation Update pack or something. Anyways, go to where it has been downloaded. Then just right-click. It's 7-zip, so just extract it using 7-zip. Then let's see, I already got one here. Okay, this is 6.7. If you want to update, just like do this, right click cut, and then you just move it to where your previous folder was installed, but I don't need to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and launch it. Okay, it'll say something about not condoning piracy, all that. I have actually read a quick start guide. Anyways, you're going to want to do install firmware. And then what's this going to do is you're just going to use your pup file. So wherever you downloaded it, I'd recommend putting it in where you're storing the RPCS3 folder. And I would just move it in there. You can move it anywhere, and then just set it to go with this. Once you do that, that's set up, so that's good. It'll take a second. If you want to add games, just go like here, and then wherever your game directory is. So mine's like here, PS3 games, even though I called it games. Yeah, and you just select folder and then bang, just like that. Pretty easy stuff, pretty simple. So that's the simple stuff, and that's what I'd recommend starting with. Configuration, I'd keep everything the same. For some games, you're going to want to mess with the SPU threads, because sometimes the auto doesn't work. And then I just keep everything the same through all this. You don't really need to change anything. If you're using a AMD, you definitely want to keep this one on. If you're getting bad performance, turn it off on an Intel CPU. But if you have an AMD CPU, or I guess it's CPU, yeah, just like keep it on. But you can keep it on anyways. I recommend it. For this, it's kind of hard to use. Like this, this emulator is really hard to run still. I would recommend Vulkan if you have like a decent CPU and a decent GPU. Mine's not. My GPU is way better than my CPU. If you have a really good GPU but a pretty bad CPU, which my CPU is good, it's an Intel 7700, i7-7700. But my GPU is an RTX 2060, so for me I would get better performance if I used OpenGL. So just, you know, check where your stuff is before you decide which one to use. Do not use D3D D12, that's like just pure CPU. It's not going to work very well. It's not implemented well either. These are the only two good options, and Vulkan is probably what you want to go with. Try both though, see which one gives you better performance. Audio, X-Audio 2 every time. Never don't use X-Audio 2. Give me a second. Jesus Christ, that scared me. Okay, back. I/O. Basically, you can use keyboard. Like, you can have it to where if you're in game, so give you instead of like typing with a controller, you can type with a keyboard, which is cool. Mouse, basically the same thing. If you're setting up keyboard and mouse controls in the game, if you'd rather do that, which you can do on a normal PS3, so they're just, you know, putting it here. Camera support, you can choose the camera you want, and I assume if you have like a webcam, you could get it to work. I don't use it, but you can. And then camera settings, again, it's the same thing. Move handler, I don't even know how they'd implement it, probably using your mouse or something, or if you have a move you could connect it. I don't know, I don't have a move. All this is just basic stuff. I wouldn't recommend anything. If you don't have a lot of storage, I would turn clear cache automatically at a certain size, because it can really pile up and you don't want that. Network, I don't think you can do it. You might be able to if you have friends. I have no idea. And these are emulator settings. If you don't want FPS, turn this off. You probably do though, because it's just in the window title, which is like up here, and not like in the game. This, you can turn that. You can keep that off. Automatically start games after boot. I think that's like when you like double click, it'll start the game, which is what you want. Start game in full screen mode. That's a like you can have that if you want. Some people find it annoying. Some other people want that, so choose what you want. Show trophy pop-ups. For me, sometimes the text is jumbled, so I wouldn't keep that on. And it doesn't really matter. But if you want to, you can. I don't know if it's like added well. Use a native user interface. Yes. Show shader compliant hint, compilation hint. It doesn't really do anything, but it does just let you know your progress, so keep it on. Ignore double clicks for full screen. Don't turn that on. Otherwise, you'd have to press Alt Enter, which I can't do. But if you press Alt Enter, it would full screen, but double clicking is a lot easier. Resize game window on boot. Doesn't matter unless you want it to be a certain. If you want to play window, then you can do that. You can get a custom background, make it completely black or something. That's a good idea. No one likes white backgrounds. And then you can do this if you really want to know what's happening, but you can keep it off if you don't. It's good for testing stuff. These are the UI style sheets. I'd recommend anything dark. Just apply that. Dark mode's the best mode. You can do that if you want. Doesn't really matter. Again, this is all like customization for the graphical user interface, which is just like, well, you can't see me pointing at my screen, but it's basically all this. Doesn't affect anything in game. Okay, so that's all that. Then for your controller, which is this pad thing, you just select the controller. So, like, let's say you have a DualShock 3 controller, you would just basically get your controller out and map each one of these as you do. Or if you have an Xbox controller, just choose X input, and then, which I do, so it's already done. I think it like automatically has them done, so that's nice. So you don't have to like, you know, fix it, but I'm sure you can change stuff. You can list or grid. If you have a lot of games, I'd recommend grid. If you don't, just use list, and then you can do that as you please. Pretty cool. That's about it. There's not that much to this. Really hard to run, so there's one more thing. If you go to the site and you go to compatibility, it can show you the games. So what you can do is like look up a game. So let's say God of War 3 if you want to play that. Then go here and you can Control F and type like God of War, and then look for 3. I don't see it. I'm sure it's here, but like it'll show you if the game's playable or not. And I'm sure most games are. Let's see, 43% are playable. In game means you can't. It's not good, but you can get in game. Like you probably can't like play through. That's what it says. Intro, you can't even get past the menus. So those are games you don't want to get. Loadable, not anything beyond like. You don't want these 3. But if you have a playable or in game, get that. But playable is way better than in game. So just do that. There's barely any loadable games, so in fact there's none. But yeah, that's the setup guide. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helped you set it up. If there's anything you need, just ask me in the comments and I'll help set it up. Thank you for watching.